Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be diving into SynthID-Text.
Ooh, SynthID-Text.
Yeah, you sent us some stuff about this. And,
I did send over some information about that.
yeah, and it's this new technology to help identify AI-generated content.
It's wild. Basically, it's like a fingerprint.
Oh, wow.
Hidden within the text itself, a watermark, if you will.
So you can tell if a robot wrote something or a human.
It allows us to trace the writing back to an AI, specifically a large language model.
An LLM.
An LLM.
So, is it even possible to tell the difference anymore between human and AI?
It's getting harder and harder, that's for sure.
Yeah.
AI-generated text has gotten really sophisticated. And, it's causing a lot of problems when it comes to authenticity and trust online.
Right, and, you can't just glance at something and be like, oh, yeah, a robot wrote that.
Not anymore.
Tough.
What if you're reading, a news article or a research paper?
Right.
How do you know a human wrote it?
That's like the Wild West out there.
It really is.
But, what about the solutions that have already been tried?
Okay. Yeah.
I know we were talking about things like retrieval-based approaches and post-hoc detection.
Yeah, those have been the main methods so far.
Okay, so, tell me about those.
So retrieval-based approaches try to match text against a huge database of known AI stuff.
Okay.
Like a massive game of spot the difference.
But that sounds...
Got problems.
Yeah, what about privacy?
Exactly. Resource-intensive, privacy issues galore.
Yeah.
Then there's post-hoc detection, which uses statistics and machine learning to try and spot those AI fingerprints.
So it's like analyzing the patterns in the writing.
Yeah, exactly.
To see if it's AI patterns.
Yeah.
But I bet that's not always reliable.
You got it.
Yeah.
Especially with new AI models coming out all the time.
It's like a game of whack-a-mole.
It really is a constant game of catch-up.
Oh, man. So this is where SynthID-Text comes in.
This is it. This is where it all comes together. SynthID-Text is a totally different approach. It's called generative watermarking.
Generative watermarking.
Instead of trying to catch AI-generated text after it's created,
right,
it actually changes the AI's writing process.
So it's like putting a secret signal in the text as it's being written.
It's exactly like that. It's wild. So there are three main parts to it. A random seed generator, a sampling algorithm called tournament sampling, and a scoring function.
Tournament sampling. We got to unpack that one.
We do.
Tell me about this tournament.
Okay, so imagine a sports tournament, right?
Okay.
With teams competing.
Got it.
In SynthID-Text, each team is a potential word that AI could use.
Oh, so the words are competing to be used.
They are. And they get selected based on their scores from special watermarking functions.
So it's like a hidden influence on the AI's word choices.
You got it. The AI is still rating naturally, but there's this watermarking tournament happening in the background.
That's so cool.
And here's the best part. We can detect the watermark later without needing to know anything about the original AI model.
So it's like it has a built-in authenticity check.
Yes.
Okay, but hold on. Does all this watermarking mess up the quality of the writing? Does it sound robotic or anything?
That's the beauty of SynthID-Text. It's designed to be non-distortionary, meaning it keeps the quality of the AI-generated text top-notch.
Non-distortionary, I like that.
It uses these really clever techniques. One of them is called repeated context masking.
Okay, I need you to explain that.
Yeah.
Repeated context masking.
It's think of it as a way to stop the watermark from creating any weird repetitions or biases in the text.
So the AI can still sound natural.
Exactly. It helps make sure the AI's writing is fluent and natural.
So we can have human quality text, but still know it came from an AI.
Yes. And here's something else. If we need even stronger detection,
okay,
we can actually make the watermark stronger.
Oh, wow.
Even if it affects the quality a little bit. It's called distortionary watermarking.
So it's like a dial you can turn up or down, depending on how important it is to catch the AI.
Exactly. If it's a high-stakes situation, you might want to crank it up.
Makes sense. But does this actually work in the real world? Have they tested it?
They have. They tested it with Google's Gemini system, the one they use for their chatbot.
Wait, are you saying they tested it with real people using the chatbot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, tell me everything.
They collected feedback on almost 20 million responses from the chatbot.
Wow.
Some with the watermark and some without.
Okay.
And the results are pretty impressive.
I'm dying to know, did people even notice the watermark?
The crazy thing is, there was no real difference in user satisfaction.
No way.
Between the watermarked responses and the regular ones, people couldn't tell.
That's incredible. So it really works.
It does.
So SynthID-Text passed the test, but let's talk about how well it actually detects AI. How does it compare to the other methods?
Okay, so they compared it to things like Gumble sampling and soft red list.
Okay.
And SynthID-Text was way better.
Really?
especially with what we call low entropy text.
Low entropy.
Yeah.
Okay, break that down for me.
So imagine the AI is asked a question with only one right answer,
Okay.
like translating a simple phrase.
Right.
Not a lot of room for creativity there.
Right. Very straightforward.
That's low entropy.
So it's like a factual statement or a code snippet or something.
Exactly. And that's where SynthID-Text really shines, when the AI is being very precise.
Interesting. So a lot of AI is used for like summaries or code where it needs to be accurate.
Exactly.
So it makes sense that it would be good at detecting that kind of stuff.
It does.
But is SynthID-Text always perfect?
Well, no technology is perfect.
Right.
There are some things that could trip it up.
Like what?
Well, the research talks about some attacks on the watermark.
Attacks. Like hackers?
Not exactly hacking, more like manipulating the text to hide the watermark.
Oh, so like paraphrasing or changing the word.
Something like that.
So you could try to make it look like a human wrote it?
You could try, but those attacks usually require a lot of changes to the text.
Which defeats the purpose of using AI.
Right. If you're going to edit it that much, you might as well just write it yourself.
Okay, so we were talking about the non-distortionary levels earlier. Right. Like there are different levels.
There are. Remember how we said it preserves the quality of the writing?
Yeah, the non-distortionary thing.
Well, there are different levels of that, like single token and single sequence.
Tell me more about those.
Okay, so single token non-distortion means the watermark doesn't really affect the chances of any individual word being used.
Okay.
So the AI can still pick the best word for the job.
Even with the watermark.
Exactly.
Got it.
And then there's single sequence non-distortion.
Okay.
That means the watermarking doesn't change the overall likelihood of a certain sequence of words being used.
So the AI can still sound natural?
Exactly. It's about finding the sweet spot between a strong watermark and keeping the AI's writing style.
It's like a balancing act.
It is.
So we've talked a lot about the technical stuff.
We have.
But what about the real world stuff? Like what does this mean for things like education or journalism?
That's where it gets really interesting. Imagine schools being able to easily spot AI-generated essays.
And more cheating.
Exactly. And news organizations could use it to make sure AI-generated content is labeled clearly.
So people know where the information is coming from.
Yeah. It could be huge for fighting fake news.
That's really important these days.
It is.
Okay, but with all these benefits, are there any downsides? Like ethical concerns?
That's a great question. No technology is perfect.
True.
One challenge is that AI development is so decentralized.
Okay.
With all these open source AI models out there, it's hard to make sure everyone's using this responsibly.
So it's like the Wild West of AI.
It kind of is. We need to talk about these ethical considerations more.
Yeah, it's important to have those conversations.
It is.
So what excites you the most about SynthID-Text? What's the game changer here?
For me, it's that it's already out there in the world. It's not just an idea anymore. They're using it to watermark responses from those Gemini chatbots we talked about.
Oh, wow, those chatbots.
Yeah.
So it's actually being used right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Millions of people are using those.
I know.
And their responses are being watermarked, and they don't even know.
They have no idea.
That's incredible. It seems like this tech is, like, ready to go.
It is. It's practical, and it can be scaled up. It's ready for the big time.
I like that.
It's a really good sign that we're taking this AI stuff seriously.
Yeah, like we're not just letting it happen.
Well,
we're trying to figure out how to use it responsibly.
Exactly. We're being proactive.
Yeah.
Taking control of the narrative.
I like that. But we should probably talk about some of the challenges that are still out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure. AI is changing so fast.
Yeah.
We need to keep talking about how to use it ethically.
It's not like tech is a magic solution to everything.
Definitely not.
We need to be really thoughtful about how we use AI.
We need to ask some tough questions about how AI is going to affect society, the economy, our own humanity even.
Big responsibility.
It is. But SynthID-Text is a good example of how we can use technology to help with some of these problems.
It's a tool for more transparency.
Yes.
And accountability with AI.
And responsible development.
But it's just one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
It is. There's still a lot more to figure out.
Absolutely. AI keeps evolving, so we need to keep looking for new solutions.
It's a journey.
It is.
Okay, so before we go,
Yeah.
what's like the big question that you want our listeners to think about?
Okay, what if instead of just detecting AI text, we could actually control how it spreads?
Ooh.
What if we could make it so AI-generated stuff could only be shared under certain rules?
So like putting some limits on it?
Kind of. Like imagine schools using it to stop students from submitting AI essays. Or news organizations using it to make sure all AI content is labeled clearly.
So people know exactly what they're reading.
Exactly. It could help stop the spread of fake news.
And make sure people know where the information is coming from.
Yes. And we could even use it to protect stuff like intellectual property.
It's like building in those safeguards and ethical guidelines right into the technology.
Exactly. It's a future where AI is powerful,
Yeah.
but also responsible.
I like that a lot.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on SynthID-Text,
Yeah.
I hope we've gotten you thinking about all the possibilities and challenges of this technology.
It's been a really interesting conversation,
It has.
exploring the cutting edge of AI and all the ethical questions it raises.
And remember, this is just the start. The world of AI is changing constantly.
Yeah.
And we'll be here to keep you up to date on all the exciting developments.
Awesome. Well, until next time,
Until next time.
stay curious, everyone.